Hi, just a second, please. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Hi, Dheeraj. Let's give a couple of minutes for everybody to come in.
Yeah, sure. I'm also just setting up. Give me a minute.
Good afternoon, Dheeraj sir.
Hi, hello. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm all good now.
Perfect. Let's just give people a couple of minutes. It's still not 12:30 officially.
Yeah,
We have
sure.
people coming in.
All right. Can I request them to turn on their cameras if that's okay?
Of course, yes.
Guys, you can please turn on your cameras so that it becomes more interactive. I'll turn on mine myself. Don't want it to be a monologue for sure. And also, Galaxy J7, if you could please change your name. Redmi Note 9S, same for you, please. 202161. Okay, his name is Yash. All right. Yeah, better. My screen is my video is visible clearly, right?
Yes. Okay. I think we can get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to ANTWalk AMA session for digital marketing. Today we have a very interesting topic. It's about how to plan your digital marketing career. I will shortly introduce our speaker, Dheeraj. Thanks again for coming online on a Sunday afternoon. So welcome once again, everybody. You guys can see my screen, right? Cool.
Yeah.
So, as some of you know, Antwalk is a platform where we are focusing on, preparing graduates and early professionals in digital first kind of domains, which is includes digital marketing, one of the uh, essential domains that has started gaining a lot of traction, driven by the move towards digital from both consumer and businesses, and of course COVID has its own role to play in the acceleration to digital. So at Antwalk we enable learners to come and get access to practical knowledge from leading professionals who have spent a good chunk of their experience in these domains and have a lot of practical knowledge to share. And this is done through a lot of free content on our website, through live AMA sessions such as this one, and also our premium programs that we will talk about later in the session. Today, the agenda for today is, once I introduce our esteemed speaker, we will also talk about what are some of the digital marketing roles, what is the scope for these roles in today's world, how should one go about preparing for a digital marketing career if they are passionate about this space, and of course, some tips for the young professionals who want to make a transition into this domain. And I will also pass on all the questions outside of this as and when they come in. So two requests, please stay on mute so that it's convenient for everybody to listen to Dheeraj during the session. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat box and I will start uh, passing it on to uh, Dheeraj as and when we come to that section. So with that, let's get started. Let me introduce our speaker for the day. Welcome, Dheeraj. Dheeraj is a passionate digital marketer with 6+ years of full stack experience in digital marketing. A very interesting part about his experiences is he's worked on all sides of the table. By that I mean he has worked at brand agencies such as the brand B and Envigo. He has worked at B2C, which is business to consumer startups such as SafeMetrip and Edu91, and also at B2B firms such as Quantify. So that allows him to bring a diverse set of allowed him to gain a diverse set of experience and therefore share his knowledge today on this session. Uh, as a professional, he has donned many hats, as a strategist, as a designer, account manager, and of course, most importantly, as a digital marketer. Uh, Dheeraj, he loves solving complex marketing problems and has shares a deep interest in how the consumer behaves, how the customer's psychology is, especially in today's digital age. Uh, Dheeraj has a good set of pedigree under his belt. He is a graduate from Digital Marketing Institute, Ireland. He's a BBA from VIT Misra, and of course, most recently, he's also a MBA graduate from ISB from a class of 2020. Uh, Welcome, Dheeraj. Welcome to the session today, and I am sure that folks on the call today will find your insights extremely helpful as they plan their career in digital marketing.
Thank you, Shriram.
Cool. So some of the questions have already started coming in, but just to get the conversation started, Dheeraj, let me start with the first question.
Sure.
How do you think, in your mind, has digital marketing as an industry changed over the years?
See, I think if you compare it like 10 years back or even 5 years back, like I did my course back in 2011. And I did my course while I was also doing my class 12th, CBSE class 12th. That time, India was very new to digital marketing. In fact, there was not even a concept of digital marketing. It was like roaming around like a buzzword. यहाँ पे digital marketing कुछ होता है, ठीक है, सही है. At that time, whatever experiment you ran on anything tend to work. It used to work. But now, because of Geo, because of so much awareness in the market, people have, I would say that there is actually information overload regarding this subject. Earlier, there was no information about digital marketing. Now there is way too much information about digital marketing. So it's important to understand that ultimately, end of the day, if you are focusing only on the tools, कि नहीं मेरे को ये tool आ जाए, मेरे को Facebook ad चलानी आ जाए, मैं digital marketer, मेरे को Google ad चलानी आ जाए, मैं digital marketer. That is completely a wrong perspective now. That is, if you're focusing on in that direction, that I'm a BTech and all I need to do is now focus on the tools, you're not going to get successful. I have done the same thing when I started with my career. I thought कि नहीं, it's all about tools. Digital marketing मतलब tools. ऐसा नहीं है. In fact, let me tell you now, अब मतलब Google ads चलाना और Facebook ads चलाना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. It's not a big deal anymore. कोई मतलब anybody can run it. There are plenty and plenty of tutorials all around internet. You just pick one video and you will find the same thing repeating, making rounds all over again. So how it has changed now is creativity as a function is now of the prime importance. People who are not creative, they cannot become digital marketers. And what do I mean by creativity? See, you become creative when you start observing things of what's happening around you. Most of the time when people do digital marketing courses, they're like, okay, I know Facebook ads, I know Google ads, I know this, I know that, fine. When it's time to implement and there is an actual problem set in front of them, then that knowledge is not going to help them, because now you have to think like a consumer. Now you have to think like a person. Now you have to think like a business, like a brand. You have to get inside the depth of the product. You have to understand exactly ये product problem क्या solve कर रहा है. So that problem solving skills, critical thinking skills have now a far more role to play than what was required in the last, in the past 5 to 6 years, wherein, okay, there is so much knowledge gap in the industry. मुझे Google Ads चलानी नहीं आती, आजा तो मैं चला दूंगा. It was easy to fool people. Now you can't fool people. You can't say कि सर मेरे को डिजिटल मार्केटिंग आती है, मैंने तो यहाँ से कोर्स किया था. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता उस चीज से. How did you apply that knowledge? What kind of results were you able to bring on that table? How did you solve a particular problem? What kind of revenue did your actions bring? And how do you constantly adapt to new changes in consumer demand, preferences, technologies? Because right now इतनी ज़्यादा noise हो गया. मैं आपको YouTube की बात बताऊं. I just started my YouTube channel, Dheeraj Rupo. I think some of you must be following me, and I also went live yesterday. When I spoke about that, I'll be going live here today also. And most of them had the same question, the exact same question. कि अब ऐसा क्या नया करें? So if I have to give you like a practical tidbit कि आप कैसे कर सकते हैं, I would say, if you go to YouTube, stop ignoring ads. If you're going on Facebook, stop ignoring ads. Any kind of promotional material that you come across, deliberately click on it. Deliberately take an interest and try and visualize and see what has the person on the other side of the screen is trying to do with me. That is consumer psychology. So if you can understand the consumer psychology, you can very well, learn anything and become successful. There is an acute lack of people right now who are not creative enough. And the best way to get started with creativity is to first analyze and understand what's happening around. How are marketers playing with me? What are they writing? What are they doing? What kind of headings am I coming across in a landing page? What kind of videos am I showing? Like that cred ad, right? It's making rounds everywhere. So now what I'm trying to do with Edu91 is I'm trying to recreate that concept for our audience. See, that's the kind of adaptability you need to have. That's the kind of approach you need to have. Stop thinking about tools, Ahrefs, SEMrush, Google Ads, keyword planner. Fine. See, there will always be people who can run those things, but they will never be a person who can guide them how to do that. You need to be that person, is what I feel that, this industry has, that kind of shape shift has happened here in terms of, the change.
Understood. And how do you think this change is going to reflect in the next few years? What else is expected?
See, as more people become aware about digital marketing, the competition is only going to go up. It's not going to go down from here, especially because of COVID-19. people like I'll give you an example. I have a friend in Lajpat Nagar. It's a very booming, shopping market in Delhi. People who live in Delhi, they must be knowing about Lajpat Nagar. And this guy, he has 3 shops over there. I won't take the name of his shop. He has 3 shops over here. He's very affluent. He's very rich, but he's an idiot because I've been trying to catch his attention, saying that one day you will have to go online. One day you will have to go online. One day you will have to go online. He just won't listen till this date. Now, because of lockdown, he has the best quality material, best piece of clothing, best design sense, best designers, best fashion sense, everything. Nothing to market, zero presence online. So that's the thing, right? I mean, people need to adapt to changing demands and consumer preferences, and always remember that this industry changes, like just a mobile phone hota hai na, it changes every year. Similarly, this industry also changes like a mobile phone. Every year you have something new. Every year some update comes on Google ads or Facebook ads or content marketing or something or the other, and whatever that you had learned last year will kind of become redundant. It happens. It has happened. In fact, what Google ads was last year and what it is right now, it's completely different now. Some things have changed, like they've made a complete 180-degree flip. They're not the same like they were used to be till about last year. I'm talking about last year.
Correct. But at the same time, isn't there an overload of marketing online also? I mean,
There is.
especially yeah.
That is both I would say an opportunity and noise. Like if you get lost in that noise, then you won't be able, then you will always keep struggling ki, where do I go from here, where do I go from here? And I would also want to make one thing clear, and I keep saying this in my channel also. Just because there is a person on YouTube or let's say Google search or let's say Facebook who is doing well, doesn't mean that person becomes your competitor, or you don't have to treat everybody like your competitors. See, most of the people don't take action, don't create their Instagram profiles, don't create YouTube pages, don't create things because they feel that what they have to say has already been said. No, you are saying, and whatever you reflect on, whatever you, because see, when I started my digital marketing YouTube channel, there are already 50,000 60,000 channels speaking the same thing. Still I'm growing. Why? Because once I started, I understood, I got some feedback from the market that okay, this problem is still not answered. But you won't get the feedback if you don't start. You will only get the feedback when you start. So as digital marketers, we need to get rid of this notion that there is too much competition. Guys, we are living in a country with 1.1 billion population. There are just not enough creators to satisfy the entire population. It can't just happen. It will never happen. So you're always playing in a market where where the demand is always going to be high and the supply is always going to be low. Opportunity will never stop for you. It will always be there for you. But if you don't start, then you don't capitalize on that opportunity. And for that, you need to execute, plan a little less, execute a little more, get feedback from the market, continue iterating, and you'll reach somewhere and you'll be proud of it. Like I did last year, and we've managed to get about 1,000 subscribers and like really engage students.
Got it. No, I think that's a great point, right? I mean, you need to get your feet in the water to even understand how differentiated you are in terms of the what you can offer.
Right.
So that's a good segue, Dheeraj, to ask my next question, and also Priyanka is also asking the same question, right? So, what are the key domains or areas that one should therefore look at in this today's scenario? What are the core areas that one should look at in digital marketing itself?
Okay, let me divide that into 2 parts. One is the functional area and one is the technical area. When I say functional, it means the soft skills part of it. When I say technical, it means the hard skill part of it. So see, again, hard skills is something you need to acquire. You just can't go without it. You need to understand, you need to know almost everything about digital marketing. You need to know SEO. And sometimes people say, which is the logical next question, but I only want to specialize in SEO. Good. You can keep that as a specialization. Like I say that I'm specialized in Google ads or Facebook ads. I've chosen my niche to be PPC, pay per click. But if you really want to, get ahead in your corporate ladder, if you really want to become, let's say, general manager, vice president, marketing, senior marketing manager of digital marketing, then specializing in just one niche is not going to take you there. So, sometimes people criticize that you are jack of all trades, master of none. Sorry, I'm going to be a little bit in your face. You have to be jack of all trades. At least, see, sometimes, I've met people in agencies where when there was this SEO guy, and I told them that, aaj content writer nahi aayi hai. The content writer is not here today. Could you give me some sort of a brief write up that I can, then I can work on it. He said, I'm an SEO guy. I won't do it. You do it. With that kind of attitude, you're going nowhere. You're going nowhere. You have to really get into the depths of everything. Obviously, when you're working, your job requirements are pretty fixed. They are not like, you also do this, you also do that. In order to combat that, I have a simple solution. Try working in an agency. Once you work in an agency, you're probably a B2C or a B2B agency in a startup capacity, you become exposed to pretty much everything. You learn SEO, you learn SEM, you learn content marketing, you learn web analytics, you learn digital marketing strategy. And obviously, when you work in an agency, you have to talk to clients, especially in a startup agency. Your communication skills have to be good, and you will make mistakes. So my experience with agency prepared me for my roles in brands. Had I started with brands and then went to an agency, I would have probably failed. But I started with an agency and then went brand side. My entire my entire viewpoints were changed. My entire perspective was changed. I could now see the 360-degree aspect of whatever I was trying to do. So that takes care of the technical part. So technical part, if Priyanka is asking, where should I go technical? You have to learn everything. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't even want to say ki nahi, sirf SEO pe dhyan do. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. You have to take an interest in everything. If you don't like web analytics, study it. Watch tutorials. There is enough information available online. And when you're working with clients, right, you have live accounts to work on. You can just sit with your colleagues, na. Go ask ki, can you show me how this thing works? And it happens more easily when you're working in an agency setup, probably not on a corporate level. That's why I said that if you work in an agency, you get exposed to everything. So technically, you have to be sound in almost every area. Now comes the soft skills part. See, digital marketing can help you in two ways. One, it can land you in a career. Second, it can help you in launching your own business or helping somebody else in marketing their business. You can't do that if you don't know how to talk to people. You can't do that if you're not confident in putting across your points. You can't do that if you get nervous easily. You can't do that if your English language skills are not up to the mark. I keep on repeating this in my channel also. Everywhere I go, stop falling for this myth कि digital marketing के लिए English नहीं चाहिए. चाहिए. You need good communication skills. Stop falling for these online fake gurus who tell you, no, this industry is open for all. Granted, it is open for all. If a brand is communicating in Hindi, yes, then no English is required. But what are the odds? Let us say, I'll give you one more solid point to work even more on your English skills. Let's say you're working for a company that does their entire marketing in Hindi. Fine. What about the vendors now? What if that vendor is in South India? How will you communicate? You can't possibly talk in Hindi. You have to and absolutely have to work on your communication skills. And the only way to do it, there are two ways. One way is, okay, talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to people around you. Good. Other way, make an Instagram profile, force yourself to write content. Force yourself to write Quora answers. Force yourself to make videos. See, and this will serve two purposes. Number one, your English will improve side by side, because as you start working on it and you use tools like Grammarly and Microsoft Word and all that, they will automatically suggest changes that are required in your content, right? Second of all, let us say you were to approach any business or a job. You have something extra to show apart from your resume. Now that's a great add-on. that is standing out right there. So you have to know everything, चाहे थोड़ा थोड़ा ही आए सबके बारे में. Number 2, English language communication skills. Number 3, confidence. Number 4, read everywhere whenever you find time. There are blogs like neilpatel.com, Search Engine Journal, Social Media Examiner. Find all the top blogs, and there is this tool called feedly.com. Go make a feed, na. Read, keep reading. Because when you keep reading, when you're aware of what's happening in the market, sitting in an interview process becomes a breeze, because every employer will ask you what's the latest that has happened in that particular domain. And you can't possibly know about it if you don't read. I have Google News. I've set some topics in Google News. I keep getting alerts on my email. Like, this happened in Facebook ad, this happened in Google ads, this happened in this happened in that. So I know exactly what is happening. Number 4, learn through observing. Whenever you go to a website, stop ignoring the ads. Look at the ads. Whenever you go to a video, don't ignore the ads. Look at the ads. When you listen to a podcast, listen carefully. How are they talking? What kind of language are they using? What kind of tone are they using? What kind of vocabulary they are using? You can become an expert digital marketer just by observing what's happening around you and implementing them in your own use case. That's how I work. So 4 focus area. I hope that answers that question, what you should be focusing on.
I think that's very helpful here. I think this is more like a journey kind of a question for you.
Yeah.
Megha is asking what kind of preparation you did for your first digital marketing job.
That's a very good question. None. I see, everybody grows by making mistakes. I had my share of it. So I did not start with digital marketing career per se. I started with a sales role. And when I joined that startup, you guys must have heard about Urban Clap. That was my first company. So it was initially known as Good Service, and then Good Service was sold to Urban Clap. I absconded that role, then that's the reason why I haven't mentioned that in my LinkedIn profile, because I just ran away in 3 months. So one good learning out of that was that I'm not built for sales, and I'm not built for a calling role, even though the salary was very good. I was just a graduate from BBA from BIT Mesra, and I was scouting for opportunities everywhere, unable to find any. I landed across a good startup. I said, okay, Urban Clap sounds promising. Ratan Tata has invested. Good, I'll just join it. They told me it's a content marketing and business development, but there was no content marketing, there was only business development. So I was answering cold calling vendors, people around, and I really got tired of it. So within like, I think I ran in 3 months. I wouldn't recommend you guys doing that, by the way. Never do that. If you don't like the job, don't waste your time. Like, I wasted 3 months of mine. I could have just left that job, but I wanted money because that was my first job. Then when I went, when I left that job, I was again back to where I started, a fresher. And this time, to get my first digital marketing job, it took me a year, because that's the kind of competition, or that's the kind of, I would say, noise there is around digital marketing, that people, they take a lot of time in hiring candidates. It's a long process. It's not so simple ki maine apna resume de diya kal and okay, hey Dheeraj, hi, come to office, yeah, I want to interview. It doesn't happen that way. They give you assignment, they give you tests, they really want to understand whether you know your stuff. That's how competitive it has become. And that so first of all, I would want to say that if you're getting tests, if you're getting assignment, treat it like a good thing, because they are investing their time in hiring good people. Don't run away from tests, don't run away from assignment. It means they're giving that much thought process. Ki, haan, yaar, I would want a good candidate. In fact, I would say that's a good company. If somebody is just letting you in without a test, without that, that's kind of a red flag for me now. Ki, because they're not hiring skilled people, they're just hiring people who can just manage their back-end affairs, and it's not a rewarding career, it's not a growing career. You will actually regret doing that if you fall for such companies, because there are in abundance. So I took 1 year of time. In that 1 year, I had no opportunities whatsoever. I appeared for almost 108 interviews, finally landed up in Quantify, where my interview was successful not on the basis of my technical knowledge, but just on the basis of my attitude. I told them that, sir, I'm very acha. By that time, Quantify told me that, there are other candidates in the line also. Why you? Now I was not I was not studying in ISB that time. I did not have those kind of credentials like the industry prefers. I was just a chip off the block getting out of BIT, and BIT does not have a very good reputation in BBA programs. It's just a very plain sort of degree. It's as good as I would a tier 2 college. I wouldn't even call it tier 1. By that time I had 14 core answers. By that time I had 2 videos, and by that time I had my own Instagram page, which I have deleted now. All I had to do was give them an insight into my passion and what I actually intend to do. My communication skills, I believe my confidence that time was, because I went ahead with that attitude that, okay, I've already appeared in 108 interviews, 78 interviews. Even if he rejects me, I really don't care. So I went with full confidence, with a lot of throw in my voice, and I was like, okay, fine, hire me, don't hire me, but let me tell you that this is what I bring on the table. Now that when I supplemented it with my own brand assets, like my own Instagram page, my own YouTube channel, my own Quora answers, I got selected on the spot. 7,000 was my stipend, but within 1 year they converted the same into my old salary, which was 30,000. In fact, within 15 days they cancelled my probation. They said, come on board. See, that's the kind of attitude you need there. And 3 things an employer looks for is energy. How energetic are you? How passionate are you? Are you, मतलब ऐसा तो नहीं है कि तुम ढीला ढीला बात कर रही हो? Are you talking? Any sign of nervousness reflects non-competence. Even if you are not competent enough in one field, and if you talk confidently, yes sir, I know it, I can do it, and I think I will be able to do it, and if you have some data or facts or something and that you can throw at them, they become convinced, okay, ab zarurat nahi hai mujhe iska aur interview, I don't think I need to ask more questions. That's enough proof. But you won't be able to say that in an interview if you don't read. If you don't read, you will not be able to crack that interview. That is what will differentiate you from 99% other candidates who are repeating the exact same mistake I was doing about a year ago when I left Urban Clap. So that's how I started. Yeah.
I think in today's world, when there is so much to learn on our own, I think if we don't come prepared into the interview, then that itself is a red flag.
Right? I'll tell you what, even when I'm hiring and I see that somebody is not able to justify their answers, or somebody is very, very nervous, or somebody, when I ask them, ye to ho jayega na, and they're like, yeah, I'll try, 50% of my confidence goes down like that. So, half of the story is just on your confidence, not even your skills. You can ace 50% of the interview just by your confidence. Nothing else. So confidence. So you see, in MBA colleges, we are taught 3 things, and I will say these 3 things will come into play: knowledge, skills, and attitude. All 3 of them are required. KSA is required, but confidence is probably the biggest factor that will decide whether you are selected or whether you're rejected on the spot. And a recruiter makes up their mind to reject you on the spot. They're just bluffing around saying, hey, we'll get back to you. It's not like that. You either get selected or you don't. That's in my experience, that's what happens. And I have also hired for roles. So this is coming from, as a recruiter myself, is what I'll say. Yeah.
Dheeraj, Soundarya has a question. Is it necessary to have a certification or degree to get into digital marketing? I think she's trying to change careers.
Okay. Honest answer, yes. But if you ask me what is the weightage, I would probably thin that down to 30%. 70% your entire profile, 30% certificate. Because, when you have certificates to show, let's say you're Google certified. Now in Google certification, you need 80% marks to just pass. And those are not simple exams. Like Google Analytics Academy, Google Ads Academy, they're very application oriented questions, and you need at least 80% marks to pass. That kind of gives recruiter the required confidence ki theek hai, isne kara hoga. He must have passed that. But then again, there are 2 sides to this. how can I be sure that you have filled that exam, that you have completed that exam? Somebody else could have done on your behalf. There are hundreds of people in this e-lancing website called Fiverr.com who will just take 300 rupees and they'll give exam on your behalf, right? That's why I said 30%. If I have to compare two candidates, one with certificate, one without certificate and no job experience, definitely I'll go for the certificate person. But if I'm comparing two candidates, one with certificate, one without certificate, even if that one person without certificate has little bit of something to show me, I will just forego the certificate right then and there. So I'm looking for real skills. Acha, if you have done your certificate from a reputed institute, again, little bit confidence, I would probably give you more preference. Let's say if you've done it from DMI Ireland, from where I had done it, or probably, a better, more cohort based classrooms like Antwerp in our case, because we are focusing on all round, on all round personality development, communication skills, everything. And of course, with Antwerp, you also get projects. So not just certification, you're also getting projects to do that I can see and verify at my end. Definitely that would instill a confidence. But if I have to compare two candidates, I would anyway go with the person who has something to show me, probably of his own or whatever things that he has worked on, able to justify how they were able to do it, that exact strategy. If they can give me an overview, their thought process, how they think about it, and if they're able to answer questions related to, okay, what's happening new, what do you think, this will happen, that will happen, if they are well informed and well aware, certificates have very minimal role to play in the shortlisting process. Very, very minimal. Nobody cares about certificates, everybody cares about results. It's a result driven industry. You show results with or without certificate, nobody cares.
Yeah. No, and I think Poonam's question is in the same lines, right? She's asking, what suggestions would you like to give to those who want to shift their career to digital marketing? So if we had to lay out a plan for folks who want to transition, what would you recommend?
Okay, first of all, talk to yourself, ask yourself this simple question: am I creative or am I analytical? Both both kind of roles exist in this market. If you are creative, because in my case I would probably say that I'm creative, I'm good at talking, I'm good at speaking, I'm good at writing answers, I'm good at making videos, I'm good at decoding difficult things into simplified things so that the customer can understand. And you will be able to do it. See, if you talk a lot, if you love talking to people, if you love interacting with new people, if you love learning about new things, it kind of hints towards the direction of that you are a creative person. Good for you. If you are analytical, or in my sense I would say a tactical person, right, then you would have to alter that strategy, because tactical people के पास results दिखाने को थोड़ा कम होते हैं. They don't have too much results to show, because most of the tactical roles are involved in SEO. SEO in itself takes months. So how will you create your own website and then rank it within one day? If your interview is next day, you can't possibly create a blog the last night and say, okay, I've done this. So regardless of whether you are technical or creative, there are some things that you can do right now to make sure that the interview really gets a good sense of how your working standards are, or what is your thought process. In my case, what helped me the most cost effective way, free way, was writing Quora answers and ranking them. See, Quora is an untapped source. Everybody goes to Quora. Okay, everybody goes to Quora to find answers to something or the other. What I did was, since I was passionate about digital marketing and all that, I kind of went to questions which had high number of views and low amount of answers. See, high number of views reflected that the question has enough demand, common sense. Low number of questions means there are low number of people with the required expertise to write that answer. So I found about 14 questions, and probably I would say 6 to 8 months before my interview, I started writing at my own pace. Before the interview, I had 30,000 answer views.
Wow.
That's enough. Now, you show that to their interviewer. What you have done, okay, fine. Sir, I have 30,000 answer views. Oh, sure, show me. You have something to show right away. Didn't cost a penny. Increased your communication skills. Gave you enough market feedback for you to rework that answer in case it is not ranking on Quora. And you have something to show. Other thing that you could do, I was making funny videos at that time. I was learning video editing. I was learning, how to operate cameras and all that. Even with my mobile phone now, people get very jittered with, no, I don't have the right mobile phone. Nobody cares. See, execution is everything. 99.9% people coming to that interview will not have a video to produce. If you have one video to produce, you stood out right then and there. So whatever video you can produce, in whatever environment you can produce, it will give the employer enough credibility about your communication skills. And that's what they want to know. How good are you at talking? How good are you at communicating ideas? How good are you in demystifying complex concepts and simplifying them so that the user can consume them easily? That's what they want. Just two things I did. I also had a blog, but I wrote that blog in Tumblr because that time Tumblr was on the rise, and I thought, okay, I might as well do it on Tumblr. Right now, Tumblr is as good as dead. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much you can do to start building up a portfolio. My other students right now, Shivani and Vishal, I keep taking their names all the time. Shivani has about 7,000 followers. Vishal has about 11,000 followers on Instagram. And they started even before digital marketing course working on those pages. 10,000 followers on Instagram is like, oh, okay, so band karo resume, fine, good, you know your stuff. So you build something from scratch has far more importance than you being given a client's sort of account. It's like handed on a platter, and then you work on it and then you grow it. It does not have that kind of credibility as you have in your own asset, is what I think, is what my opinion is. Now it could be different for other people, but that's what I think has helped me.
Right.
Yeah,
I think there are a couple of these interesting questions coming up on how to upskill oneself, right? Like for example, I'm just going to merge a couple of questions from Samira, Sarat Kumar, even Asif, right? So last week I just served about digital marketing courses in Upgrad, and they mentioned almost 1 lakh for the entire course with certification. My question to you is, not sufficient to spend more money to learn this, but I'm interested to learn this course professionally. This course is too expensive. By doing this course only will I be able to switch to some good companies with domain knowledge? Please help me in this, and how could I go on with this process?
okay, I got the question.
Yeah.
1 lakh is too much. Sorry. Very honest answer. 1 lakh is too much. I wouldn't go for it. If you want to hear my opinion, 1 lakh is too much. Too much for information already existing on publicly available platforms. Again, granted that these courses also bring in industry professionals in form of guest lectures. I have delivered guest lectures myself at 2 IIMs. I understand the importance of these guest lectures. Fine. But these guest lectures alone will not make you an expert digital marketer until and unless you work on your own. So any kind of theoretical knowledge, any kind of videos, any kind of supplementation in form of guest lectures is not worth spending 1 lakh rupees, even if it comes from Duke University or even if it comes from any kind of university, because you see, you're not doing an MBA program. You are doing a course that changes itself every year. It's not a standardized one size fits all sort of a program delivered in a classroom setup that you can just consume in one fashion and say, hey, I'm a manager now. Doesn't work that way. Why do you want to spend 1 lakh rupees on this? Instead, what I like about Antwalk is the cohort based classroom, right? We are taking every island together, all the essential items clubbed in a single classroom with just 3 classes, giving you a lot of pre-reads to do beforehand and only telling you things that we have done, the experts have done in their life, right? And giving you, in a kind of trailer that, this is what we thought, this is what we did, this is what the results came out to be, this is what your thought process should be like. If you're able to absorb that thought process, work on your own projects, which by the way you will have to do if you want to complete this program, then I think it's worth spending 50,000 rupees, 60,000 rupees, because then you are getting a holistic picture. But don't fall for these degree based classroom programs from Duke University or MICA. MICA is only recognized for its MBA, not for its digital marketing courses. And as I said, it's not a one size fits all program. They will give you a lot of classrooms. They will have a lot of live classes. I, being a trainer myself, and a lot of students from Digital Vidya already here, they know what I'm talking about. So you need a different approach here. that old approach isn't going to work out, in my opinion.
Right. I think that's well said. Dheeraj, I'll just take maybe since you have been talking for the last 40 minutes, I'll just take a small. I'll talk about this program just to give people a view of what this program is all about, and you already started discussing it. So I thought this is a good segue to just share our program details as well. Is everybody able to see my screen?
No, it's off right now.
Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. So like Dheeraj was saying, at Antwork, we have tried to change the status quo, right? Most programs that you guys see are like either online, especially are recorded content with some guest lectures coming in and so on. But most of the time, it's like you have to sit in front of the screen and watch all the videos and give some assessments, right? Uh, our program that we have designed from the ground up is differentiated in 3 ways. One, you're going to learn from real working professionals who are working in senior roles in marketing departments, both at agencies and at organizations and brands, right, such as Dheeraj himself. So you'll have at least 10 to 12 experts who have their forte in certain areas. Dheeraj talked about you know uh, SEO, content marketing, social media. So we are bringing experts who are worked extensively in each of these domains, and they are going to come and share their practical knowledge, how to execute the campaigns, how to measure the performance of these campaigns, and so on during their classes. That's one, right? Second is all these classes are, by the way, live classes. Huh? These are completely immersive, interactive classes that will happen on the weekends. And the third thing is, post those classes, you will be given projects that have been designed by these professionals. You will be using real life tools and therefore executing on these projects and submitting it at the end of the week. You will get evaluated by these professionals so that you are on your resume at the end of the program, you will be able to highlight what are the 8 or 10 different real world projects you executed on, what was the outcome, what are the challenges, and so on. So that makes your entry level interviews much stronger because you have a strong profile to showcase, right? It's a 16-week program which is going to be starting in May. Like Dheeraj said, the cost of the program is 50,000 including the GST. There is a link here. If anybody is interested in the program, please apply using this link. And thanks to Dheeraj, there is a 10% discount we will be giving out to anybody who signs up using this link today. So that's a flat 5,000 rupees off. So do check out the link, check out the program details, check out the expert list of people coming from Netflix, Amazon Prime, Unilever, Domino's, and so on. So a lot of good experienced professionals coming and going to be training you over a period of 16 weeks.
And by the way, sorry to interrupt you, Sriram.
Yes.
Let me give you a little bit more insights on what we mean by projects.
Hmm.
See, most of the time when you do projects, employers are not able to verify them. You can forge numbers, you can do window dressing, you can do anything you like. That's not the case here. It's completely transparent. They will be able to see exactly what you guys had done, exactly how you performed, exactly what led to what, and what kind of decisions you took in a simulated environment, right? And apart from that, you will also get, I think, if I'm not wrong, Shriram, they will also get some money to spend budgets in the form of ads as well. So it's not just कि यार Facebook marketing पढ़ा दी चल आप कर लियो खुद से, ऐसे नहीं होता भाई. It's not like that. You will be given all the required resources. You will be given everything you need to actually get a head start before you work on any live client project, right? So that is probably the biggest differentiator here, because I think we probably did not touch upon this thing, which is the highlight of the program. It's the most important part of the program. And anybody who has not done any course yet, and if you're able to afford it, because we have a zero cost EMI as well, which is starts at 4,444 a month, I think it's a steal. It's a steal. 4,000 rupees you can spend on yourself every month, and that covers almost everything with the best coaches, by the way. Like he mentioned, Netflix, Google, all these people are coming from experienced backgrounds. They've worked on real problems. They've worked on at the ground level. They are not somebody who are just they have been teaching digital marketing since 10 years and they haven't done anything themselves. This is not like that. So yeah, that's about it.
Got it. Let me quickly come back to the session. I will be posting the link on the chat window also, guys. So do definitely take a look. But these are some of the core competencies we'll be, delving into over the 16 weeks, right? From the fundamentals to content, SEO, social media marketing, paid marketing, marketing analytics, email and newsletter marketing, digital marketing strategy, which is the module that Dheeraj will be covering during the 16 weeks. Next generation digital marketing techniques, and finally, of course, brand and storytelling, which has become a lot more, important with this overload of digital. Uh, cool. Back to you, Dheeraj. Let's take some more questions.
Sure.
I'll stop my screen share.
Yeah. Guys, also I would request you to please switch on your cameras because it's like talking to bots, right? Please switch on your cameras, whoever can. It's okay. We won't judge you. मेरा
Right.
बैकग्राउंड कोई इतना अच्छा थोड़ी ना पीछे अक्षय कुमार ही तो लगा है. ठीक है
Yeah,
ना?
guys, it's a very informal session, guys. Turn on your cameras and also please let's start putting in the questions. We won't
Yeah.
get such valuable insights every day, right? So, abhi opportunity, please make use of it. One question is, I am in pre-sales domain. I want to switch to DM course. What is the best procedure I can do?
Okay. So you are probably doing the same thing like I had started my career. So I'll just give you a very honest advice. See, when you're making a switch to digital marketing, no matter which background you're coming from, finance, even if it's marketing, if it's not digital, by the way, if it's marketing, if it's finance, if it's sales, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You're a fresher. Even if you have 10 years of experience in, let's say, pre-sales, you're a fresher. For digital marketing, you're a fresher. So I would advise you, if it is possible, try communicating with your bosses, with your managers. Is an internal transfer possible? First, because you need to get some head start. You need to get some credentials on paper that I have actually worked in a digital marketing project. If there is no such evidence in your resume, I'm sorry, but see, the industry is very brutal in this case. They are not going to take the case any further. That's the simplest option you have. If you don't have any option, then repeat the steps, rinse and repeat the steps like I've already mentioned. If you don't have any kind of social presence, social profile, make one. Like if you follow my LinkedIn, of my LinkedIn profile, I constantly make every video every day, and I've been able to attract a lot of people like you who are actually naturally curious about this subject. You have to do the same thing. Whatever you read, whatever you learn, whatever you consume, any kind of content, start spreading it, start sharing it with the world. And I think I've given you enough reasons why making any kind of content anywhere is the best strategy that you have. There is no amount of coursework, project work from any institute that can substitute that building up from scratch thing. And it's a very enriching process. You fight a lot, you struggle a lot, and you make the best use of the knowledge that you have when you do it. In this case, you will have to keep some patience. You'll have to wait at least 6 months to 1 year. I'm giving a very realistic timeline. I'm not mincing words or anything. I'm giving a very realistic thing, because otherwise, if you do things in a hurry, your followers won't come. So basically what I'm saying is, if you're unable to work for your company, build a base of audience for your own set of, whether it is Instagram, whether it is YouTube, whether it is Quora. In my opinion, 2 platforms can give you quick results in the shortest amount of time. Nobody does it. I don't know why they do it. LinkedIn, Quora. LinkedIn, Quora. You go to YouTube, again, very crowded. Wouldn't recommend unless you really want to, show people ki, okay, I can make videos, I can do this and I can do that. It has a bigger learning curve. It has a longer learning curve. It will take some time. Although it is much more rewarding in that case. If you do it, you have better chances of selection. Definitely. Okay. So in this case, I would say either you can go for the Antwork program if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, if you think that no, I need some more time, or if you have the time required to work on your own assets, you think कि नहीं मुझे project अभी जरूरत नहीं है, I can do it. कोई भी course कर लो यार. I wouldn't say do this course, do that course. Everybody's talking about the same thing. I also have my courses. You want to do that, you do that. You want to do the Darag Walls, you do the Darag Walls. You want to do Udemy, you do Udemy. Doesn't matter. Everybody's talking about the same thing. Choose a course, choose an instructor, choose a person with whom you can connect, with whom you feel that I'm able to grasp or understand what this guy is talking about, and start replicating it in 2 brand properties that I mentioned about LinkedIn. Very easy to do and gets quick results. In India, there are millions of people using LinkedIn. Less than 1% people use LinkedIn to actually create content. Just imagine 99% market is open to you. I'm giving you an actual figure. I'm telling you, 99% people don't use LinkedIn to create content. They're consumers. You have a good chance to make that solid impression. You can do that. That's the simplest way. Second, Quora. Very easy to rank answers on Quora. I've already given you the strategy. Find answers related to anything that you're passionate about. Start writing on them. Any answer which has upwards of 50,000 views or 1 lakh views and has less than 12 answers or 25 answers is good for you. That means if within a span of 3 months, that answer will grow to 15-20,000 views. And that 15-20, when you have that kind of number, that I was able to grow from 0 to 15-20,000, employer सुनेगा, खुश हो जाएगा, उसके लिए गाना ही, उसके लिए वो जब भी मैट का सॉन्ग है, मजा आ गया. तो this by using this strategy, you can give it a shot. Any which way, if you can afford it, I will definitely recommend Antwork. If you can't afford it, do any course, start implementing. 2 platforms I've given you. It would be very good if you can also add another platform into it, which is Instagram Reels, because it's easier to grow there now. Simple to make videos, a lot of impact. And yeah, I mean, that's the kind of guidance I can give you right now. And the more you work, the better your numbers become. You furnish them in your resume, you become at par with people who have done the course and have worked on projects. That's the only way, no other way.
I think well said, Dheeraj. I think there are some other questions which were focusing on something you already answered on, whether the certifications and so on. But we have one interesting question. Mandakini is asking, I was working at an agency and the working hours were 12 to 14 hours and I was not paid well. This discouraged me and made me quit the job. I am planning to go for master's in digital marketing. Will it help me get better job and money, or shall I hustle at a startup and continue working no matter the work culture?
No. Any toxic work culture will have a direct negative impact on your learning experience. Don't do that. See, the good thing about in this situation is that you have some sort of thappa in your resume already, that I am in the you. So basically you've entered the industry now. Okay. Now, if I were you, and if I can afford the course, I would probably ask my dad, can I do this? If he says yes, if he says, yeah, you can do it, we don't have any problem, I will just simply go for it. It's better for you to do this right now because you have the experience. You will be able to retain and absorb the concepts right away because you've worked on it. If you can't, then definitely hustle at a startup, like you rightly mentioned. See, 12 to 14 hours, if you are a fresher, I have also worked like that. It does take a toll on your mental health. It does affect you in very negative ways. But you know what, Mandakini, ultimately, let's say if you were to open a business yourself in the next 10 years, now you have equipped yourself with the worst kind of working environment. You understand that, business shuru karne ke liye you are well equipped, ki now you can do anything. You can cross any hurdle, any challenge, and you have worked on those fine nitty-gritties that are required to promote a business. See, running a business versus promoting a business, 2 different things. You can make a good product, you can design it, package it, make it beautiful, but if it's not selling, it's not selling. That business is dead. So you've worked in an environment where they have grilled you enough to prepare you for any challenge whatsoever. If the employees are good, the colleagues are good, the working environment is okay in terms of the people that are around you, continue. You will get used to 12 to 14 hours. Right now, you have to work extra because there is a lot of negative sentiment going around. People are losing their businesses, so they want to pump up marketing spends and get that demand back up. Definitely. But you can again go for a course, or if you feel that this startup is not good enough for you, people are mistreating you, your boss doesn't listen to you, you have other commitments at home, walk away respectfully. Don't abscond like I did. Worst mistake of my life. Never do it. Get out on good terms, no matter how terrible your boss is, but get out in good terms, get an experience letter and start finding other agencies. this time your resume, the numbers that you put in your resume, the experience that you reflect on your resume, and things that goes beyond your resume. Let's say you can, compile a list of posts that you have worked. It's easy for you to do that. Now, for you, making a brand portfolio is much easier. Like I had made for Medla, I had made for Vodafone, I had made for all these brands. Ultimately, you worked on it, right? And even if you show that on the interview, they're going to ask you, okay, what did you do? You will be able to give a first-hand encounter of how you did that. That's what they want. That's what they want. So these two alternatives exist. The third alternative is Antwork. If you can exist, for me, I think 4,444 rupees a month is something we can spend on ourselves. If you talk about other institutes, I'm very well connected with this industry. They're like, no, give me down payment right now. There is no such thing as EMI in most places that I know. And I only work with those institutes where, they're student friendly in terms of that. So I'm giving you a very honest opinion. If you can spend, definitely go for it. If you can't spend, go for another company. Don't leave your existing company on bad terms. If it is manageable, work for longer duration of time. If it's taking a toll on your mental health, quit, walk away, and complete the exit formalities.
Very well said, Dheeraj. I think Mandakini, I mean, especially like Dheeraj said it, even with my background of almost 15 years of experience, early years may, it is always, if you are getting the right kind of work, that's something that you're passionate in, you can always put in those extra hours. So that need not necessarily be the only reason for you to move on. But if the job is not treating you well, if your employer is not treating you well, then that is the reason for you to start looking out. But like Dheeraj said, definitely make sure you go out on good terms, because that flow of your experience needs to keep continuing so that you don't
See, otherwise they will not take your feedback calls properly. They will not verify your candidature in another company. It will be a disaster. You will regret that decision. I have done it myself, and I can't, so since I claim that I have 6+ years of experience, many people ask, but you have only 3 companies in your resume, or 3 in your, I can't put the other ones. I wasted my time there. I did those mistakes. So I would urge you not to make them again, not to repeat those mistakes. Whenever you repeat a mistake like this, Mandakini, you delete that work experience entire, though all that time is lost now. All that time is lost. And this goes for any job, not just digital marketing. This goes for any job. Never ever leave on bad terms. No matter how irritable your boss is, how toxic your culture is, try to leave in good terms as much as possible. Because if you do that, and if you kuch log pange le lete, if you go into that panga wala mode, then that company will make sure that they mess with your career also. Never do that. So choose wisely.
Okay, we are hitting the 60-minute mark. We still have some interesting questions. Dheeraj, do we have some more time to continue?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Aditya has a question, more tactical one. It's I am video shy person. I can connect with people in person and show up with great confidence, but while recording a video, I'm not good. How to improve? I am good at performing at live sessions, but fail to perform well at recording.
Great. My simple answer to you would be, why not learn video editing? Why not learn video recording? This is probably the most practical skill. Acha, and let me tell you why learning this skill right now is going to pay you for your entire life. I'm not going to say future, your entire life. I realized this very late in my life. Had I opened a YouTube channel, say 5 years back, when I was actually working on client projects, I would have 50,000 subscribers minimum. But I did not capitalize that opportunity, right? I realized that late because I was camera shy. Now you've already crossed level 1. You're not camera shy. That's good. Now, why don't you go ahead and start learning about Premiere Pro, Filmora, or, there are plenty of free softwares also. You can just start learning and start doing it. It will appear to be very difficult at first, but let me tell you, although that learning curve is big, that learning curve is fast, because once you get your hands on on that keyboard shortcuts and you understand the basic fundamentals of video editing. For me, editing a 20-minute video right now doesn't take me more than 2 minutes. I just trim and slice some things, make basic color correction, reduce noise, add photo, add videos, whatever. It's done. Initially it used to take me 2 hours. From 2 hours to 2 minutes. Big learning. Start now. And I would say once you learn video editing and if you're good with content also, my friend, LinkedIn से बड़ा तो कोई platform है ही नहीं. सारे decision makers, each and every decision maker is sitting on LinkedIn. They're waiting to consume video content from people like you. They're waiting for that. And in my professional career, in fact, you can ask Shriram also. He also first got in touch with me by showing my video.
Correct.
Every single opportunity that I've got on LinkedIn has come from somebody or someone, even though they were not in my known. I did not know Shriram. We've never met. We are in the same college, but we've never met. I never tried contacting him. He must have come across my video from another mutual connection. So that person must have liked my video. He again saw my video. I kind of pulled him towards my profile. He liked it. He invited me. That's how you make opportunities. All this was made possible because I had learned, invested time in making videos. Had I, मतलब अगर मैं वीडियो नहीं बनाता, if I had not learned how to make videos, I wouldn't be even sitting here. So making videos is in fact one of the reasons why I'm talking to you right now. That's how important it is. So you can learn about it. Go and check some resources, some tutorials. Even if you want to, spend 500 rupees, 800 rupees, 1,000 rupees on paid courses, worth investing. But learn it right now. The time is ripe. People are not making enough videos. The market is open. Competition is almost zero. And it will take some time for you to flourish on LinkedIn, but you will flourish on LinkedIn. It can happen.
Ankush has a very interesting question. Dheeraj, how much importance does a mentor play in digital marketing?
Okay. I've never had any digital marketing mentor per se, but I've always had mentors. Okay, big difference. Digital marketing mentor is a subject matter expert. Okay, he will tell you, he will guide you, he will share his learning, he will share his experiences. Okay, but a mentor who has worked on a strategic level or CEO level, if he's coming from corporate strategy background, working 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and even if they don't know about digital marketing, as I said, digital marketing is not about tools. It's not about tools. So my first mentor was Mr. Saurabh Gupta. Brilliant person. मुझे झाड़ते थे literally. मतलब he used to beat the shit out of me. That has also happened. मतलब कि it has went to that kind of zone also. But I'm ever so grateful to him because of him, I now take reporting seriously. I now take MS Excel seriously. I now know how to pitch my ideas properly. I know how to structure my learnings properly. Mentor is important. Digital marketing mentor or person who has wide experience in digital marketing and they become a mentor is a plus. Are they required? Not necessarily. Mentor required? Yes. Mentor is definitely required because they help you to become a better person in the shortest amount of time. See, no reading, no YouTube video, nothing can take the role of a mentor. A mentor is definitely required. I've been very, very lucky. In fact, right now, even where I'm working right now, I'm working with the best person in the CA fraternity. So much to learn from him every day. He has completely changed my entire working, structure. Ever so grateful to him. So definitely, mentors are required. Ankush is asking how to find one. Okay, Ankush, I would probably have to very slyly say, be lucky, because there's no other way right now. Nobody can act as your mentor, just like that. You don't scout for mentors like you scout for leads. It's not like finding leads, na. It's like finding a mentor. A mentor has to be genuinely interested in you, right? In my case, I can still give you one quick hack. If you really want to go that way, if you really want to connect with people in that space. See, whenever you give some person a lot of value for free, they start realizing your true potential. Now, in the case of where I'm working right now, Mr. Neeraj Arora, CA Neeraj Arora, where I'm working at, he does not know anything about digital marketing per se, but he's an excellent marketer. He's an excellent speaker. He's an excellent orator. He loves his thing. He loves his work, right? So one fine day, I just went to his website and I found some problems with his website that could be affecting his, customer experience. And I just made a free sample report and I said, sir, based on my learnings, these things can, they can be changed or I can help you change them. Now he was, he had known me for 10 years, but we did not speak for good 10 years. Instantly rekindled that sort of relationship right there. And he said, hey, sure, why not? I spoke to him for 2 hours and he was ready to hire me then and there. If you really want a mentor, if you really want to connect with some person, try and see how you can help them with their problems that they're facing right now without any expectations of them coming back at you and hiring you. In my case, I was lucky, but not everybody's lucky. Right? So that way, what happens is sometimes people get so impressed with you that they want to take you under their shadows. And they're like, fine, if you don't want to, if you don't want to work for me, at least, let's connect, let's chat. And this has happened with Quantify, this has happened with Brand B, this has happened even when I left the companies. I never left talking to people that are working over there. And sometimes when I was out of job, I just used to give them a call, sir, kuch freelance opportunity hogi mere paas bahut sara idea. Yeah, sure, come. And then again, start learning back from them once again. So it is possible to find mentors. However, I would say that a natural, more organic way would be to try and find people with whom you've already met and see if you can start interacting with them, communicating with them with the sole purpose of helping them with their primary problem. You will have to take that trouble of finding one particular problem. In Neeraj sir's case, it was his website's infrastructure terribly, exploiting his user experience. So I kind of came up with suggestions and he was very impressed with that. So it's just that game. Otherwise, whatever people, when you go to a digital marketing agency, whenever you work at a job, I have seen people, it has never happened with me that I have never met any mentor. Your boss becomes your mentor. Now it's always up to you whether you want to take his good things or you want to take his bad things. 90% of us accumulate the bad things. He's this, he's grumpy, he scolds me, he's moody, he talks like that. Nobody looks at the good things. And when we fail to do that, now we kind of destroy that relationship then and there. Try to see a holistic picture of the person and not just the negative viewpoints. Because it happens initially, every boss will not seem like a mentor to you. Every boss will seem like a boss. Over time, when you start forgiving them for even, sometimes when they are not behaving very good with you, and you keep working, your impression changes in some months, and then they take you in their shadows, and then they, really are interested in giving you that mentorship, and they're imparting their learnings that they have acquired over the years. So mentor or no mentor, not a question, because you will always find people to whom you can look up to as mentors, but it's always up to your attitude whether you want to consider them as your mentors or not. And be very careful when you select your mentors, because if you choose bad mentors and if you only pick up bad habits from bad people, you will become bad yourselves. You are a reflection of whom you're meeting so far. You are a reflection of your mentors. I am a reflection of the people that I have met in the past. And I can say that with 100% confidence, because that is how it is. I followed their tactics, I followed their strategies, I followed their working methods, I followed their time routines, I follow their punctuality, I follow their values. That's the kind of role mentor plays in your life.
Dheeraj,
Very well
sir,
answered.
Yeah.
Go
sir,
ahead.
if a person is looking for some startup or a entrepreneurship, or he's starting a business idea after he's passing out from his graduation, so in what topics he can look?
Sorry,
he
you'll have
can.
to repeat your question. What's your name?
Sir, I'm Balkrishna Dwivedi.
Okay.
I'm a final year student.
Okay.
Sir,
Where are you studying right now?
sir, engineering, Triple E.
Okay. And what do you want to do after you graduate?
Sir, means a business startup like I'm interested in coding and that means all. So what I can, what are the opportunities for me right now?
Okay. You are absolutely sure you want to do a business, or you want to first start with a job or something?
No, sir, I would like to do a startup.
Okay, fine. But that's not enough now. Have you thought out your business plan? Have you discussed it with your friends? Do you have a business model canvas? Have you done all the research? Is
No,
everything
sir,
done at your
not yet.
end? Not yet.
Not yes. So that's why I've.
Like you, I opened a digital marketing agency. I closed it in 2 months.
Oh
I'm not
shit.
demotivating you. I'm
Yes,
giving
sir.
you the reality that
Yes.
first think about your plan. What is it that you want to do? There is this video on YouTube you will find in my name, which talks about business model canvas, where I've spoken each and everything. It's in Hindi, by the way, where I've spoken everything about how to make a business model canvas and how do you churn out things like that in a very systematic and structural way. By the way, the same business model class we will also take in our digital marketing strategy session, also in the very beginning parts. So you first see, don't just, you're throwing yourself some very vague terms right now. I want to do a startup. That's just not good enough. You have to think it through first. Okay? And it
Yes.
takes time. Once you have a basic outline of the business that you want to do, make a prototype and get a demand forecast or a demand estimate. Try talking to your prospective customers, send them feedback, send them survey forms, ask them whether something like this interests them. Ask them if they, whenever you say that I have come across this X solution for your Y problem, which will help you in getting Z, A, B, and C results. How does this sound to you? If they feel excited, then you're probably headed at the right place. Yes.
If I am able to convince them.
Yes. Then you should definitely, start working on your prototype, get that product rolling out, and then think about digital marketing. At this stage, you should not be thinking about digital marketing because the product ही ready नहीं है ना, service ready नहीं है, product ready नहीं है. वो ready हो जाएगा when once that has come into the picture and you have some paying customers. You don't need digital marketing to get paying customers from day one. That's your responsibility. Your contacts, your referrals, your connections, your existing image in the market will get those initial customers onboarded. Digital marketing has nothing to do with that. If you're relying on digital marketing to get customers from day one, close your business. Don't do business, because then it will become very, digital marketing is only helps you in scaling up. It doesn't help you to start anything. It helps you to scale up. Right? That's what I did. When I opened an agency, I had no connections, nothing. All my existing customers were already, working with their respective agencies. They said, no, I don't want to change. Now I had to rely on Google ads and Facebook ads. Nobody came. I said, okay, I'm out. I'm wasting my time. Why waste time? Digital marketing only helps you in scaling up, not launching. Launching is your responsibility. Right? I hope that makes sense. Digital marketing at this point, you should not think about it. In my opinion, get a prototype ready, get some initial customers onboarded. Then when it's time to scale up, think about digital marketing. Yeah.
Great. The last couple of questions before we wrap it up. I think we have one question from Poonam. I think it's kind of a follow-up to the early discussion we had, Dheeraj. It is said that there's a huge crowd in digital marketing. Can you put some light on the scope of digital marketing in future?
Okay, very good question. Okay, I was waiting for this question. I thought this will come early, but I think good time. This question has arrived at a very good time. What do you, okay, I want your answers in the chat. What do you think the scope of digital marketing is? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? You can key in your answers. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Let us first get an idea, the consensus of the class. What are the people thinking? Ankush says it's going to go up. Anybody else? Poonam is saying going to go up. More answers, please. Up. Anybody for down? Anybody who thinks it's gonna go down? Go down with high competition. Paras says go down with high competition. Okay. So we're talking about scope here. Paras saying go down with high competition. Okay. Go up. Anybody else? We have 42 people here. I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go up with high competition. Okay, up. Okay. Okay. So fair enough. Most of the people are saying it's going to go up. Paras thinks that it's going to go down. Paras, why do you think it's going to go down? Are people going to stop using their laptops or mobile phones? Are people stop going to use websites to find information? Are people going to stop using Google? Are people going to stop watching web series, music, Spotify? No. So there is no question that it's going to go down. It's only going to take up from here. As more people become digital savvy, as more people get mobile phones in their hands, it's only going to go up. So as far as the scope is concerned, I'm gonna talk about scope from two angles. One angle, industry angle, gonna go up. I hope everybody is clear that the industry in itself is not going to go down, it's going to go up, right? Second, scope for yourself on a person level. What is your scope? It's up to you. It's up to you. If you like, I think I've mentioned some points in the beginning. If you don't have projects to show, scope is going to go down. If you don't read, the scope is going to go down for you. If you don't interact with other digital marketers, learn from their experiences, the scope is going to go down for you. It is completely up to you. Don't blame the industry. The industry is going to flourish like anything. It's going to explode. It's still exploding. 500 million mobile phone users. I don't know how many mobile phone users. I'm just throwing a very, edgy number here, but we're talking in millions here, right? People are going to buy even more expensive mobile phones now, corona or no corona. In fact, they're going to spend more money on mobile phones, more money on expensive laptops. The screen size is going to go up. That means when the screen size goes up, you can make even better advertisements. You can make even better banners. Industry is going to go up. Are you going to ride that wave? And that's also up to you. Show projects, na? Work on your communication skills, broadcast your information on LinkedIn, write Quora answers, make something to show, start communicating value to other people. Like, I think I have shown every angle related to digital marketing, how you can get clients. Like you can catch hold of a mentor, you can start contributing, for free in other people's websites and everything. It's completely up to you. The industry is going to go up. Be assured, it's not going to go down. But if you stop learning, you stop implementing, you stop executing, you stop learning, you stop talking, you stop communicating values, it's going to go down for you. Simple. Right? Any other question that we can take up? Yeah, you're
Sorry,
muted.
I think I was on. Yeah, sorry about that. No, I think that's the wrap. I think it's a good way to wrap up this session. Guys, see, we have conducted multiple sessions. We'll have a lot of live sessions coming up in the next few weeks also. Please do check out antwork.com/events. You will have all the recorded sessions out there, and also sign up for the next upcoming sessions. I would like to personally thank Dheeraj for spending a lot more time than the allotted 60 minutes. I think, Dheeraj, it was a fantastic session. I think we have almost 80% of the guys who joined still there on the call. And that is testament to the kind of insights you have given us. So thank you so much. We will love to have you again. Like Dheeraj mentioned, guys, check out the boot camp or the Antwork Experiential Program. The link is on the chat. Amazing experts coming and going to be training you. Amazing opportunity to find your mentors as well. Amazing group of cohort you can interact with and build your networking. And of course, a good way to transition into digital marketing after an intense 16 weeks of training and execution, real hands-on. Cool. Thanks again, Dheeraj.
You're welcome. Guys, can I also say that I've also posted my link to YouTube channel in case you guys want to connect with me in the future. So you guys can watch my videos over there. It's in Hindi, by the way. All of them are in Hindi. As I said, I work where the best opportunity is for me right now. That market is Hindi. So I've deliberately chosen Hindi. You guys can go through my channel also. Again, repeating, adding to what Sriram said. If you use my promo code or if you use my link that's given, I think Sumit will just share the link once again. On Antwork, you will get an instant 10% off. And this is only for you people. This is not for anybody else because you have spent that time with us. So if you have made up your mind, if you think that you can afford it, which by the way is not too much, 4,444, pretty straight, pretty neat, pretty transparent figure. If you think you can do it, definitely do check out the link and at least sign up if you want to get more information. I think their counselors will also guide you further and take up any other questions if you have. So it doesn't just end here. Do check it out. And if you still have confusions or doubt, at least sign up so that you can get your doubts resolved. Otherwise, I've given my link to YouTube channel. I would love for you to have, I would love to have you in my channel, and I keep going live every Sunday. Like I went live last Sunday also, late night live sessions. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much, Antwalk team, Sumit and Rumpi and Sriram. It was great, having you guys here and answering all your questions. I really enjoy talking to people who are freshers and who have an interest in digital marketing. Guys, you can also feel free to add me on my LinkedIn. Put up any questions that you have. I will reply to them personally. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dheeraj. Once again, thanks everybody. We'll come up with more interesting sessions in the next coming weeks. Thanks for coming again. Have a good Sunday and stay safe.
Sir, I'm
Bye.
audible?
Yes. Who is this?
Yes. This is Sharath. Yeah. So, is there any, or you are having officially WhatsApp or Telegram group which used to get updates of digital marketing, job oriented thing, anything related to digital marketing?
Yes.
Any
Yes.
official
So we
WhatsApp?
have on LinkedIn. We have our digital marketing job board. Please follow it. And then of course on antwork.com. We have the events page where you can keep registering for upcoming events, and
Please
we'll
share.
start emailing you also.
Please share the chat box. Any useful.
We'll do that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Stay safe. Take care. And I'll see
All
you
right.
once again. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.